Hello, John here. This is my electric hot water heater for my in-floor heating. You probably noticed some damage here. I was tearing down a house, wrapped a chain around it, and just ripped it out of the house. And it was sitting out back, and I needed some heat in the basement. So I thought, I might as well try it. I've never done this. So this was about 16 years ago. I put this hot water heater in. This right here is the pressure relief for if it builds up too much pressure, which it never has. Here's the outlet of the pipe. You can see the arrow, direction of the flow. I put this little filter on to try and catch some of the debris in. You can see right there when I put it in, January 25th of 2016, I must have been bored. One thing you really need, I'm going down the line here as the water flows. One thing you really need is a spitter. I don't know when I put the spitter on here, but before I put the spitter on, it wouldn't heat right, it wouldn't work well. Then again, I must have been bored. I don't know if you can read it, probably not. January 12th, 2019, I replaced the expansion tank. As you notice, the expansion tank is below the line. And I didn't have this filter on, so any dirt in the system had probably dropped down into here. Well, in a way that's bad news, because if you got a couple $1,000 boiler, you don't want your debris going into the boiler. So, and the little tank was a whole lot cheaper than replacing a boiler. I forget what it cost. You probably notice I like to take things apart and analyze why they failed. I was downstairs. This is the bottom half of my old expansion tank, and I happened to walk by the expansion tank, and there's a little itty-bitty mist coming out of it. It must have just happened. And I'm trying to get some light into here, I don't know. But you can see the bladder inside ruptured. So the thing wasn't doing any good. And there was probably at least a handful or two handfuls of debris in the tank. There is a drain on the bottom. I would drain it out every year and put clean water in. But anyway, we'll continue down the line right here. Now we go to our flow control manifold. I'm just going to plug this thing in and show you how it works. Going to unplug my alarm. Now I don't know if you can hear it. If I look up here, let's say number 4, bathroom. I go to the flow control valve and look at the flow control meter. You'll see I'm pulling 1 gallon a minute of water through it. So if I'm heating up a room in the winter time, I'll set it at about 1 gallon a minute. Then as it warms up, I'll slow her down to about 1/2. Then to maintain the heat in a room, about 1/4 gallon a minute of water flowing. So you'll see my numbering on the hot water heater. Each one of my little zones is numbered. I have 8 zones, about 1,700 square feet, so roughly about 200 square feet per zone. So the hot water then travels through the PEX pipe out into the zone and back in again. And these are the control knobs to control the flow in the manifold. And from there, once it returns to the manifold there, it goes down, down to my circulator pump. Right now I don't have the circulator pump on a thermostat. It's a 120 volt circulator. I did buy a line voltage thermostat, so I'll be installing that sometime. And so I can, you know, if it warms up, it won't go on. The hot water heater, I keep on all the time. So anyway, we follow the arrows and it goes back into the tank. So anyway, I've got a little glass jar over my fill port here. I used to have to run a hose into the utility room, the other one, and then if I wanted to add water to it or flush it out. Then just recently I added a line coming down with a plug on it, so now all I use is a hose for a washing machine, and I hook the thing up here to here, and I can fill it. I do have a pressure gauge down here, so I can control the pressure. I generally don't have it at any pressure, and the heat I get out of this basic little homemade system is amazing. Before, when I'd come down in the basement floor would probably be, I think I measured it with my infrared temp, 50 degrees. Now it'll measure about 70 degrees. And then my ceiling was maybe 70, but not enough to warm up the upstairs floor. Now, with just turning on the in-floor heat in a couple of rooms, the entire heat in the entire house, all 3 floors, is as even as can be. And I can even turn, there's my furnace there, I can even turn down the heat in the furnace a couple degrees, 2-3 degrees lower, because it feels that much better. Maybe this is a better, where am I getting the shot? Oh yeah, you can see the bladder is ripped to shreds, so I guess I don't know if that thing should be replaced every 10 years. You might want to do some more research. And this is John saying goodbye, and I'll plan on making another video. If you have questions, feel free to comment, and I'll try and get back to you. Thanks for watching.
A certain point, and if you have more,
so it seems like